Thanks very much, Piers. I've really been looking forward to this. Let's talk about user interface, because user interface makes or breaks technologies. Your tech might be amazing, but you're only going to get a few bleeding edge users unless it has the right user interface. Basically, the interface has to make sense for what people want to actually do with the tech. The history of breakthrough technologies is full of examples of this. The personal computer wasn't relevant to most people until it had a user interface built around a mouse. The internet didn't start to become relevant in everyone's daily life until we had the web browser. And the smartphone was a toy for geeks and executives until it had a screen that you could use with your finger. Web3 is this all over again. It has this huge, incredible potential, but it's awful to use today. And so it won't be relevant to the world until it has that right user interface that makes it both better and easier to use. That means if Radix is going to be the platform for mainstream Web3, we have to rethink the concept of a digital wallet from the essentials. It has to make it easy to hold your digital assets securely. It has to make transactions using your digital assets safe and predictable. And it has to work everywhere. And that is exactly what we've done with the Radix wallet. I'm going to show you our vision of a mainstream-ready Web3 user experience using the Radix wallet. But first, I really want to tell you about what makes that user experience possible. Because as it turns out, you can't get there by just focusing on the wallet alone. The problem is that the design of a wallet is limited by the features of the platform that the wallet connects to. If you don't fix the platform, you cannot fix the wallet user experience. And no, you can't fix it even if you build a special crypto phone. So for Radix to build a better wallet, as you might guess, we had to use a full stack solution. Shortly after the very first Radix mainnet release, we started working on this problem. And after about 1.5 years of user research and development work, we found the solution and we built it. In the end, we had to integrate 5 new technologies into the Radix platform itself that help us solve user experience. Let's talk about these technologies one by one and why they matter. First, smart accounts. We knew we had to answer the big, obvious user question that's holding the industry back. How do we give people a secure, decentralized wallet without them having to deal with this complicated seed phrase that they don't understand? Literally billions of dollars have been stolen or just lost because it's way too easy for most people to lose a single seed phrase that unlocks everything they own. It's as if you had to carry around a lockbox with your life savings in it, and there's only one key that opens it, and it's impossible to change the lock. There is no way that this is acceptable to most people. So to make a wallet experience that's safe, fully decentralized, and as easy as using a typical banking app, we had to rethink how accounts on a blockchain work. We call them smart accounts. Unlike regular blockchain accounts, smart accounts on Radix aren't just an address. They're functional containers for assets. They have multi-signature signing and multi-factor recovery built right in on the network. This means that the Radix wallet can rely on those security features. But if you lose your phone, the smart account lets you recover access without a seed phrase and without trusting a centralized service. Second, personas. Web3 needs a better way to log in than Web2. We know that we have to get rid of the hassle and bad security of passwords, but we can't jump straight to a login solution like passkeys, where we're trusting Apple, Google, and Microsoft to hold our login secrets. Now, MetaMask is a baby step in this direction. Using MetaMask, you can connect one of its token account addresses to a website in one click. That's great, but a token account address is a pretty poor replacement for a real login. A login should be who you are, not just where you happen to be holding your stuff. With a single login, you should be able to connect multiple accounts full of assets. You should be able to change which accounts you're using without changing your login. We're never going to get the Web3 version of Twitter if losing a single seed phrase means losing your Twitter login. And we can't have really powerful decentralized finance applications unless users can have a personalized login that lets them do things across multiple asset accounts. It's just like the banking apps that they're used to today. We can solve all of this with something we call personas. Personas are kind of like smart accounts, but for identity. They use the same nice on-ledger multi-factor security features as smart accounts, but rather than holding tokens, they control access to a login. Basically, the upshot is that they let the Radix wallet do passwordless, personalized logins that are safe, decentralized, and anonymous. All you'll need to log into Web3 applications on Radix will be a tap on your phone. But once again, if you lose your phone, you'll still be able to recover access to your logins without trusting your privacy to anybody. Third, Radix Connect. We live our lives on our phones, and so, of course, the Radix wallet has to be on our phone too. But you still need to be able to use it with applications on your desktop and do that securely. It should be obvious that using a Web3 wallet shouldn't be locked to one device, but that's pretty much what we're stuck with today. You can have a wallet on your phone, but you're stuck with interfacing with dApp web pages on your phone. You can use DeFi on your desktop using a wallet that's a browser extension. But the security of that is terrible, and you can't take your wallet with you when you leave your computer. Doing this the right way is why we created Radix Connect. Radix Connect creates a secure connection directly between the Radix wallet on your mobile phone and dApps running on your desktop. This means that you can have the big screen desktop experience, but the control of your accounts and assets is always on your phone. Everything stays secure and accessible, and we don't need a centralized service in the middle to make it happen. Next, native assets. We need a Web3 wallet that can clearly tell you what you actually own. MetaMask and crypto wallets today seem to do this, but you've probably noticed that the illusion keeps breaking down a little bit. Like, sometimes you know a token or an NFT should be in your account, but you have to follow a bunch of steps in the wallet before they actually show up. Or you hear how sometimes people get scammed because tokens that they think they own suddenly disappear from their wallet. You might also have noticed that NFTs or LP tokens look almost meaningless in your wallet. If you want to see what data they have, where you can use them, what you can redeem them for each asset you have to individually figure out what website to connect to so that you can actually see what you need to know. It kind of makes you feel like you don't really own these things. The reason for all of this is that Ethereum and just about every network has no idea what a token actually is. This is pretty weird when DeFi and Web3 are supposed to be all about digital ownership. For example, you might assume that your tokens in MetaMask are these things that are held inside an account. In reality, each token is a separate smart contract. To show you your balance of USDC tokens, MetaMask isn't looking in this account thing because there is no such thing. It has to go out and ask the USDC smart contract. It has to ask for your balances, and it has to trust that smart contract for everything about that token and how you can use it. This is not only kind of weird, it's really risky. A token smart contract might lie about your balance, or it might easily have a secret function that lets somebody else take your money. Because of how tokens work, your wallet cannot protect you from this stuff. And that means that you basically can't be confident in what you actually own. And that is one of the many reasons that on the Radix network, we have native assets. On Radix, every token and NFT that you can imagine is a native asset. They're not just balances in a smart contract. The Radix network natively understands assets as real objects that are held inside smart accounts. That means that the wallet can always show you everything you own. It means tokens can't have weird, unpredictable behavior. And it means that the wallet can show you things like what are your LP tokens worth, or what makes your NFTs unique. Native assets make digital ownership real, and that's the whole point. Last, the transaction manifest. And I love this one. The headline is that we've finally eliminated the fear and uncertainty whenever you review and sign transactions. Stop and think about how important this is for a moment. Today, every signature is a leap of faith. Here's what I mean. The transaction that you're signing in MetaMask is basically a cryptic message. MetaMask passes that message with your signature to a single smart contract. That contract then runs off and does whatever. That's all the transaction says, and so it's impossible to know for sure what's actually going to happen as a result. This is a crazy way of doing things, and there are lots of examples of why it's such a bad idea. Like, if the smart contract you're using has a bug, or if worse, it's malicious, it can easily just take the wrong thing from your account or give you the wrong thing back. There's no way for you to know for sure ahead of time. Another example is that a bot can front-run your transaction. When that happens, the actual result of a trade is worse than you thought it would be when you signed the transaction, and there's nothing you can do about it. But it doesn't have to be this way. We've solved all of these problems by completely changing how transactions work on Radix. We call them transaction manifests. A transaction manifest isn't just a message you're sending to a smart contract. It's what you want a transaction to be. It's a set of instructions directly to the network for things that you care about, like what assets do I want to withdraw? Where should those assets go? What assets do I want to get back at the end? This seems like the obvious approach, but for some reason, no other network does this way except Radix. The result is that the Radix wallet can read the transaction manifest and actually show you what's going to happen when you sign. It also means that you can add your own rules. For example, if you want to make sure that a token swap doesn't return less than you expect, the Radix wallet will put that right into the transaction manifest. No matter what the smart contract tries to do or who tries to front run you, the transaction only happens if you get back what you expect at the end. That means that there's no more signing hashes and hoping for the best. What you see in the transaction manifest is what you get. So, we've talked about smart accounts, personas, Radix Connect, native assets, and the transaction manifest. Individually, these 5 technologies solve some really crucial usability problems.